Get some popcorn.
And welcome to the second episode of the Popcorn Podcast. Today, I am joined by Tactical Operator.
Morning.
The Astral Mech.
Hello there.
Outcast.
It's me.
And our special guest, Split Screen. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you. How are you guys doing?
We're
Pretty
doing
good,
absolutely fantastic.
Very-
Excellent.
Yeah, very well. So, this is our second episode, and we have Split Screen. So, Split Screen, tell us a bit about yourself, and what is your channel about?
Well, my channel is about Star Wars gaming. I've mostly covered Battlefront 2, moving into Squadrons now, but it is kind of that broader range. As obviously time goes by, we get more Star Wars games, and I'll do a lot of that. And when it time get quiet in terms of news, then I'll cover some of the old stuff like Battlefront 2005 and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun. Good.
What inspired you to do YouTube? Just a random question.
Just a random question. Okay. Mostly Star Wars HQ and my excitement for Battlefront 2. So wrong way. I'm an identical twin. You know.
Hello, twin.
So yeah, I'm an identical twin. Obviously, Star Wars HQ are as well. So that was kind of like, oh, that was cool. And seeing them go to events like EA Play and playing Battlefront 2 early and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that'd be really cool if me and my brother could go and do that as well. And then the Starfighter Assault trailer came out in August a couple of years back, and that got me really excited even more for Battlefront 2 on top of gameplay. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I kind of want to stream this maybe. And then started streaming Battlefront 2015, stopped for a little bit, and then got back into Battlefront 2 in like January 2018, and just kind of went from there really.
Interesting. I'll ask one more question. What would you say is like the hardest part about getting to 1K? Because obviously each YouTuber kind of finds, pros and cons about getting to 1K, like the road. So what do you reckon, like, what was the hardest part, do you reckon, if you have one?
I think for a lot of people it's patience sometimes, because I mean, some of you guys have got to 1K insanely quick, but other people it take them like 2, 3, even 4 years to get to 1K. And I think sometimes they don't have the patience to really get there. If you do, then great. But some people are like so keen to get to 1K that they'll do anything they absolutely can to just gain a few extra subs here and there, which I think for most people is a bit of a struggle. But I think it's also about finding the right kind of balance and getting into a rhythm of things as well. Because if you once you get into a rhythm and you start maybe like uploading on a schedule or at least regularly and stuff like that, then in time that will come and you'll start to see more growth.
Yeah, of course, I'm inclined to agree. Yeah, patience is definitely a skill that I would say new YouTubers need to possess, as well as probably current YouTubers. But yeah,
You need a passion as well, don't you? You need something to drive you. Otherwise, if you're not interested in nothing, then you're not gonna be driven to actually make any content if you're not gonna get anything back from it.
Mm-hmm. And you can't go into it with the mindset of, oh, I want money.
Exactly.
Because,
yeah.
That's not going to channel. That's not the case. Like,
yeah,
you're earning much anyway. I mean, depending on how things are, obviously it's going to be different for everyone, but you can't be driven by money. Obviously, you want to have like those long-term goals and be able to do it full time and stuff like that, which is very much a thing for me. But that's not what solely drives me. Like, there's so many other opportunities out there that you can do. Like, I think, I'd love to be an EA game changer at some point and, go out to these events or I give feedback to developers anyway, but, be able to have these opportunities and that drives me forward and other things as well,
So, do you remember the first ever video you ever made?
I think it was a Star Wars news video. I think. Basically, when the Game of Thrones showrunners were kind of confirmed to have their own film series, me and my brother kind of put something together about that really quickly. I think that was the first one. It was that, or it was I think it was that one, and then later on we did a Battlefront 2 2017 season 2 content update speculation, and to which we mostly nailed. Actually, we guessed ATTE, Geonosis, and the 4 heroes all correct. So I was quite proud of that one.
Wow. Nice one.
Wow, nice.
I
Thank
mean,
you. Yeah,
there's
so
many
I-
opportunities. What, as in Anakin, Dooku, Obi-Wan, and Grievous?
Yeah, got all
Oh,
4.
good job.
As well
Nice.
Mad.
as Geonosis. That
An
was
epic gamer moment.
hell yeah. We
I
also
think-
Us in the chat.
new to Pal, but
I think that's always the best way to start YouTube, is to start with some kind of video on news or a game or an upcoming sort of game. And I think, well, you must have done that really well. And of course, we have many new Star Wars games coming up, which we'll talk a little more about later in the podcast.
Yep.
Astral, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do actually. So this might lead us into our next topic if you want. If anyone has any other questions before me.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
Lots of people were affected by how Battlefront 2's live service kind of abruptly ended. Some people were super upset about it. Some people didn't care. How did it affect you or your channel, just in general? Either one.
yeah, so that's actually a really good question. So the few weeks leading up to that announcement were, like, in terms of my overall channel performance, was actually the best it had ever been. So I was going up and this was like without shout outs or without being in someone's video and stuff like that. I was genuinely going up, like, for me, this was really quick, and it was like a couple hundred every like 2 weeks or something like that. And it was going really, really well. Videos were getting a lot of views and stuff. Well, for me anyway, streams were getting up to like 30, 40 people watching and stuff like that. And it was just absolutely insane. And then news drops that it was the last ever content update for Battlefront 2. And then it kind of,
Flatline.
from that point, like from actually the day the update came out, I did a stream and got like to 96 people watching, which was insane.
Mad, yeah.
So things were going really nicely, but obviously because Battlefront 2 ending and I was mostly a Battlefront 2 focused channel, it kind of the few weeks after that and leading up to the announcement of Squadrons, it was a lot. It did start to get quiet. So my videos were still doing pretty well, but streams died down quite a lot. I was barely gaining subs anymore compared to what I had been doing. So it was probably like a month and a half of that. So I was still growing.
It must be pretty demotivating to have all your content surrounding around mainly one game, and then that one game just gets abruptly pretty much cancelled, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are pros and cons with it. Obviously, it sucks that Battlefront 2's ended, and I kind of had quite a lot of hope that we'd go on for at least the end of the year or beyond, have still bring out news videos, speculate on content we could see and all that stuff, and it would have been brilliant. And obviously with the announcement of that end, like, closing, that sucked. It was pretty tough, and I was it was quite depressing for a few days, but then I actually kind of thought to make the most out of the opportunity that we had here. So it's like, okay, Battlefront 2's ended, but there are so many old Star Wars games that are out there. So I thought, okay, well, I'll start covering a bit more of those. So I went on and did Battlefront 2 2005. I've done one Rise of the Empire campaign at the moment with another one to come at some point. But I'm now, like, over the last few months, past month or so, I've actually been super motivated to just get a broader Star Wars gaming content out there, really. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, so with Squadrons coming out, that's like really helped. And if we didn't have Squadrons, then I'd be quite motivated to go and play those older Star Wars games and bring in all this other different bit of content, really. So it was a challenge for sure, but it's not one that was too negative, I guess.
Did you ever play Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 when it first came out?
Yeah, so me and my brother used to play it split screen on
yeah, me too.
on PS2. So
Great.
yeah, me and my brother used to play it a lot. One of my favorite memories probably is we woke up we were like 5 or 6. Well, I think we were like 6 at the time. So go to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Of course, yeah.
But we woke up at midnight and we went downstairs and we played it for 6.5 hours, and then played Lego Star Wars: The Original Trilogy for about half an hour to an hour
On the PS2, right?
on the PS2.
Yeah, me too. With nostalgia. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was so good. So going back and playing it now is fun. And I mean, as of us recording it, I did a Galactic Conquest stream yesterday, which is
Great
it was
game
so much fun. Yeah, it's like going back to those games is really fun actually.
Yeah, mine was Lego Star Wars the video game and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Those
Wow.
two on the PlayStation 4 with my brother was really nostalgic as well. So yeah.
Love those games.
And when did you start playing Star Wars Battlefront 2? Did you start from the beginning of the game, or what time in Battlefront 2 did you actually jump onto the game?
Is this 2017 or?
Yeah, 2017.
So yeah, no, I jumped on from launch. I played the beta. I played through Battlefront 2015 a lot, and I was really excited. Like I wasn't part of the community at that point, but I was watching like Battlefront updates, Star Wars HQ, and all that stuff for the news videos and all that. And then it was kind of just before Battlefront 2 came out. That's kind of when I decided, okay, I actually kind of want to start YouTube. But I didn't start until like 3 months after launch. But yeah, I played through, Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition 3 days early. Played through that. Played through December content update, and yeah, pretty consistently for 2.5 years, really.
Nice.
I've got an interesting question, which I like to try and ask many people. But what would you say, from your experience of YouTube, what would be the 3 key skills you should go into doing YouTube? Because obviously you mentioned patience, which is one of them, I would say, or a key.
Yeah. Well, I think like not necessarily skills, but like key attributes you'd need.
Yeah.
So yeah, patience, passion, as Shelby said,
I suppose creativity.
and yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, even if you're not the most creative, like I mean, I was sort of creative anyway, but by doing the more videos I've been putting out and stuff like that, the more I've been talking to other people and seeing other people's content, the more creative I have become as a result of that. So you don't need to be,
Or possibly consistency.
yeah. I think because you can, obviously, you could probably get away with just like 2 videos. I mean, like sometimes you do 1 video a week, then you do 2, then you do 3, and then you go back to 2. And like, I mean, you probably could do okay with that. But if you upload consistently but regularly, then that will be a lot more beneficial. So yeah, I'd probably say passion, patience, and consistency really are the main things.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely some key skills or attributes that I would. Yeah, it's just because I'm interested in like because like I don't know. In my opinion, I just think a load of people stop YouTube after a period of time if they don't reach 1K, and it tends to be a high percentage of people.
Yeah.
Although people like watching the content is one thing, but actually doing the content is another thing. And I don't think, especially if you don't do YouTube, people don't see the other side, and like they don't realize that these attributes are actually key to be able to carry on your channel, because obviously you're going to have a fluctuation at times, but I would definitely incline to agree that those attributes are key.
I think research, like the ability to actually research as well, is a pretty big thing.
Definitely.
There are some people who are just like, oh, I've got you can do everything on a PS4, you can stream on a PS4, you can make videos on a PS4.
I'm a start and not know what I'm doing, pretty much.
Yeah. So it's just like, so there's that. It's like, oh, I don't know how to use this, so I'm just going to stop. Or they don't even know about it, and they think like, okay, I want to do YouTube, but I don't have a laptop, I don't have a PC. Crap, I can't do anything. Or if they do have a laptop, then look into free software like DaVinci Resolve is fairly widely used, especially for as a free piece of software. You can get a license for that for free, and you can do like the video editing, audio, post-production, thumbnails, in like all in that one software, and it's free to use. But people don't know that. Like they don't know that Audacity is free for audio recording, and stuff like that. There's loads of open source stuff as well, but without actually doing the research, they don't know, and they just think, oh, there's nothing out there, I can't do YouTube now. Oh, that's a shame.
And there's a lot that goes into YouTube. You've got, of course, your content, but your content's not just, you could put out the best content ever and get no views, because you still need your thumbnails, your titles, your descriptions, your tags, your trending topics.
Mm-hmm.
There's more that just goes into YouTube than playing a game and uploading it. Because if you play a game that massive YouTubers are playing and just upload it as it is, you're not going to get enough traction or attention or anyone that's really going to click on your video without something enticing to click on. And that's not clickbait, that's just literally a title, a thumbnail, a description, tags to get it into the search and all that kind of stuff, which does take research. And I remember before I started YouTube, or at least the first month I started YouTube, I spent about 2 hours every day looking up loads of like research in YouTube for about a month, all the way through December, which I think really helped me.
Yeah, and you can see, like, if you just look on just analytics as well, and you've got the whole engagement setting for
Astro.
There's one setting in particular. I think it's on engagement, and you see like how many impressions of like a video has. So that's just how, like, if you're scrolling on your phone, does this like thumbnail and title, does this video actually appear just on the screen? And like if it does, that's like one impression pretty much. And if like that, as a result, like you could have a video that gets a video of mine had like 100 views the other day, and it had 3K impressions. You know, so it's been seen 3,000 times, but it's on 100 views. The best way to get that up is make the title more interesting, make the thumbnail look more clickable. You want to have like remain, you know, you want to have your integrity and don't clickbait and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you make it appealing and stand out so that, you know, you get that click through rate up. And there really is a lot to do it. Like looking at your analytics and genuinely analyzing the statistics on that and trying to improve from that is really beneficial as well.
And I think YouTube is probably the best hobby I've gotten into. Now, for me, I want YouTube to go from a hobby to professional, but in terms of where it is at the moment, it's probably the best thing I've gotten into. In terms of I've learned how to play instruments. I've tried loads of different hobbies. Yeah, I think YouTube is probably the best thing out there for most people, because you get a part of the content you like doing. You get you get to play games. That's pretty much the majority of what you do. And you get to upload it for people to watch.
And you can build up that community as well, which is nice.
Yeah, I agree, because especially from like, as all of us are YouTubers excluding Outcast and Nub, you know, it's like you learn. I don't think you realize this at first, but obviously as you do YouTube over the long term, you begin to learn, you know, attributes and just key skills that you would do in a normal job, and you know, and skills or attributes that you would, you know, what you would be required to do in a job. So it's kind of interesting how, you know, you're at home and you can just do YouTube as normal content creating, and you know, you realize just how much you learned. Honestly, it's interesting. I would say that. And
you do will be like, it's like some people will be like, oh, it's just a video, but it's like, well, hang on a minute. If you look at like a video, like let's say, well, with the thumbnail, with the title, but also with the just the stuff that goes involved, if there's like an image or graphics, stuff like that. Well, okay, you've got graphic design, audio production, maybe some visual effects work in there. If you do any post-production on your videos, then there's that. Graphic design also goes in with the thumbnail. Data analysis, research that will go into like the tags and the title and stuff like that. And also just kind of having the knowledge to know what's and also just the knowledge and research to know kind of what's trending, what's good to say, and just like script writing as well. If you write scripts, then you're going to improve your written ability. And if you're posting content out there for literally billions of people to potentially see, then your overall confidence will grow as well. And that's the thing. Like, there are so many smaller things that go into just one video that I think a lot of people don't realize. And take that.
I remember the first ever videos or streams I made, I actually had to research how to improve my confidence, because it's so weird when you first get in front of a camera and you think, well, you talk to a camera, you're talking to no one essentially half the time, and you're kind of weirded out by it at the start, and you don't really know how to act. But eventually, and I don't think it took me long, maybe a month before it was like every day, where it just wouldn't be a problem. It just came naturally to me now. So it's natural to me now to just act normal in front of a camera, which is an issue for quite a lot of people at the start of YouTube, which, like I said, you can get through very easily just by carrying on and making more videos and streams and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, the more you push yourself forward, and the more, so like the more you push yourself forward, the more you keep creating and stuff like that, then you'll improve so much. I feel like videos now, in terms of how I talk, it's a lot more natural. It flows quite nicely. But before, it literally used to be very much, oh, okay, I'll say this line, pause, say this line, pause, and be like almost nervy, but not have that emotion in it. It was very monotone. And I think it's a really nice time. I think it's really nice to actually go back and look at your older videos and kind of show that it shows that.
Well,
Don't.
I mean, it could be. I mean, do it on your own.
yeah,
Well,
definitely.
Outcast will know, won't you? Outcast, or we know.
I find that I improve my videos every time I upload new videos. So for me, when I look back at a video a week ago, I don't like it. Although I enjoy it when I make it, and I enjoy it when I upload it. But a week later, when my content is that tiny bit better, I notice the change, which does bother me sometimes. So I can look back at my really old videos, because there's a massive difference where I can see. So for example, my old streams is completely terrible quality, but it's fun compared to now, like the better quality that I have, and it's motivating to see how much you improve as you make content.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think as well, what's one thing about YouTube is, as you know, it kind of portrays your personality, and it's how you present yourself. So, for example, obviously, there's taking inspiration from other YouTubers and forming it into ideas. But I think the one good thing about it is, it allows you to be creative and just use your mind and think outside the box and think, how would you want your channel to work, in terms of, you might have a unique thumbnail design that not many YouTubers have, or or it's yours or something. The way you structure your video, how you edit your video and stuff like that. So I feel like just uniqueness and personality are quite solid things, as well as obviously the other attributes you've mentioned.
Mm-hmm. It really gives you a chance to express yourself in a way that,
of course,
might not necessarily be able to do anywhere else.
And to reiterate what you said as well, obviously at the beginning you might not be as confident, but as you do YouTube, and obviously if you do want to show your face and stuff, it gives you that boost in self-esteem and confidence, and and then you begin to see that eventually, if you do get any toxic comments, you learn just to blank them, and you don't feel sensitive or uncomfortable, and you just move on, because you've got that audience that will support you either way. So I think it's definitely gone from a hobby to a form of professionalism. But honestly, I can tell from the beginning of doing YouTube, my confidence has increased significantly. And it's just it's just amazing just how stuff like this can happen. But I guess it's just good for us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've spoken to and seen Astral around the community for quite a while now. But Tack and Shelby and Outcast, I don't think I've kind of seen you around before, but I've never interacted with you. Yeah. So kind of maybe 2 years ago, if I jumped into the VC, then I'd be a bit like, I might be quite reserved. But because of the confidence that I've gained by doing this, I came in straight away, and I felt like I had a fairly confident presence, and you guys did as well. I jumped in, you welcomed me very nicely. But we're talking. It almost feels like we've been talking.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
In general, it's interesting just, how you can just discuss these topics regarding YouTube, and just, how in depth you can go, because there's so much to talk about. From the viewer, it might seem simple, but obviously as the YouTuber, it's quite,
Yeah.
Well, obviously, excluding Outcast, who's like, I'm doing a podcast with 3 weirdos.
Get your stream taken down.
I don't know why. I genuinely don't know why.
yeah, like it's definitely enjoyable doing YouTube, and you learn a lot. And
I
you know,
definitely remember watching YouTubers, thinking how simple it is, and
Mm.
then when I started, the difference between expectation and reality is quite a big difference. Because for me personally, I've gone through a lot of struggles with YouTube in terms of the content I put out. And the quality of it, because for me, for example, the hardest thing for YouTube for me is audio, and it's also probably one of the most important factors is your audio quality, and just recording audio, scripting it, recording it, getting a clean recording. I can never get a clean recording, even now, a good 5 months, 6 months, 7 months into YouTube, I still can't record a whole script without stuttering and me misreading my lines like all the time.
Me too.
I think I think everyone but Outcast encounters that problem many times. And,
Yes.
it is frustrating, annoying, etc., etc. Honestly,
What I do is kind of if I mess up, then I'll go back to the earliest possible kind of good starting point and go like, I'll stutter, and then I'll leave it a bit so I can kind of, as I'm going,
Me too.
be like, right, okay, well that was crap, take it out and bang.
yeah. I would either go to my last sentence or just the paragraph.
Yeah.
I tend to stutter like 99.9% of the time.
Me too. Like, there's been times where I have quite literally a 15-minute recording and I cut it down to 6.5
Yeah,
minutes.
me too.
It's
Like
scary.
that one time where you accidentally deleted a Lego video.
What?
Like that one time you accidentally deleted the Lego character video.
Well, he's not the only
Yeah,
one.
like
What?
the Lego Star Wars video.
Yeah, but
You
your
deleted it.
stream
never
got removed.
deleted-
You deleted the
Lego
audio
Star Wars
anyway.
No, Cast.
No, the
you're in
audio.
now.
You lost track of the audio.
Oh, yeah. I accidentally
Yeah, that
completely
one.
deleted an entire file on a video I was going to.
Well, I mean, at least you didn't completely delete a video.
No, I
Silly
did before I uploaded it.
Silly kids.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That must have hurt. And what, you
Yeah.
had no way of resolving it. Ouch.
Nope.
Mm.
Wow.
Well,
I had to completely redo it.
back on topic. Yeah, with the expectation and the reality, I feel like there's just so much to learn in terms of like time management, confidence, mentality, patience, motivation, commitment, passion, and just honestly, it's just like, I don't know why it feels so much, but obviously it's hard, but it's easy, if that makes sense, because obviously you're gonna encounter like barriers which you can't break at times, but eventually you break it, and then you're able to like accomplish what you wanted.
But that's the thing with any creative medium, like with games especially. I mean, I studied games design and visual effects and VR at college for 2 years, and now I'm starting university in September for virtual production, game art, and going into my college course, I knew nothing about game development and stuff like that. I mean, I was doing YouTube anyway, but I didn't know anything about game development. And going into it, it was like, whoa, because there's so much in there. And actually doing YouTube and doing YouTube, engaging with the community about a specific game, engaging with developers, giving them feedback, and kind of talking to them on a fairly regular basis. It's like it really helps boost that knowledge, and me being on that course as well just really helps those two together, and they complement each, like doing YouTube and going on a kind of game related course complement each other so well. And you would see, like, when there was a Battlefront 2 update or something like that, it would be like, oh, this is bad, oh, I can't believe there are so many bugs and stuff. Like, being on this games course, like I understand kind of why bugs happen and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, well, I've got a better understanding anyway, and because I've got more knowledge in that field, I'm more like understandable with it, and I'm not gonna just shout start and be like, this is bad, fix it now. It's like, that's not
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot
Like
of
some people.
disrespectful people because they don't know anything about developing a game. They think all you do is put 2 and 2 together and then release it, and therefore you need to, give us everything, do it all now, and fix everything, I've always been mad. And there's loads of disrespectful fans out there that disrespect the developers of any game because they don't consider what actually goes into making the game and the effort that developers take. So we was talking about Battlefront 2 for a little bit. So what is everyone's opinions on the game as a whole, 2017 stars Battlefront 2?
I generally enjoy it. I think it's a really solid game. It wasn't at launch, of course. So many bugs and then the loot crates and whatnot. I think it's definitely grown to be maybe my favorite game. One of, for sure. And it sucks to see it end, especially with all the content that was still planned, that it was ended abruptly, like confirmed Star Card loadouts and Ahsoka Padme being rumored because they look very similar to be aspects of the ISB agent. It's just a shame it ended when it did.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I thought Battlefront 2 was certainly a great game to portray Star Wars and how it was. Obviously, I wouldn't say it wasn't strict, but like it was very immersive. Like, you know, the devs really listened to what the community wanted most and added it when, you know, just to make sure that the community was satisfied. Obviously, there have been ups and downs, but I think my main frustration has been the bugs. But obviously, that's expected as to any game.
Really?
But the bugs.
Amount.
I mean, I played the game back in solo when the solo pack and everything came out, but only for a bit. I actually really got into Battlefront 2 only in November because I gave it up for a while and then I returned to it and I started streaming it for a while and doing videos on it, and that was like the whole start of my YouTube channel. And so I played it from about November until I suppose March. And the bugs I encountered weren't that frustrating. Now, I usually find bugs funny. So if I'm there lying on the floor being thrown around as Chewbacca or Darth Maul, I found that funny. Wasn't really bothered that it was a bug as such. But I tell you what, I did find frustration in terms of bugs, getting thrown out of games and joining a game and not being able to play the game. And all those silly kind of bugs.
Yeah, it's like when you're doing a melee kill streak, you're about to get that kill, and then there's a stupid glitch, and then you just die. And I'm like,
the hit registration.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, it didn't. I
terrible.
think it might be because I'm not competitive, but it didn't really affect my overall experience of Battlefront 2.
Right, so Battlefront 2, what is everyone's favourite hero and villain?
Luke and Darth Maul.
Yeah, it's Luke and Darth Maul. That's what I'm talking about.
That's my
Exactly
boy.
same here.
Wow,
yeah.
okay.
Luke and Vader for me. probably.
Luke
Actually,
and
maybe
Darth Maul
Han
are
and
my
Vader.
highest level characters.
Same.
I'd
Darth
say.
Maul really went down the ranks this last update for me.
I don't think so. I think he's
The
still
hit
pretty good.
registration on his spin attack is so bad.
I think
Maul is just bad. In general.
I would say
Nah,
probably.
you're just bad, Outcast.
I'll probably
I mean,
say
yes.
Obi.
Yeah,
I'll say
sure.
probably Obi-Wan and Dooku.
Really?
Interesting.
Obi-Wan as your favourite light side hero?
Well, it's just the way he plays out because I'm not really a like. You've got to kind of, you know,
He's
plan
quite
out.
competitive.
You've got to plan out how you attack because if you just rush in and go all blaze, and you're just gonna die.
Blaze,
Whereas-
blaze.
Yeah, Obi-Wan. He's really defensive, and his abilities really suit my play style. Just because, you know, he's fun. Like I don't have to go full. I can go aggressive at times and stuff, but you know, the thing I like about playing as hero is trying to stay alive and just trying to get satisfying kills and try and like how to, you know, get the best or funniest kills possible. And with Dooku, I feel like maybe excluding his exposed weakness ability, Dooku is a really solid hero just in terms of, you know, how offensive and defensive he is, as well as you know, it's just personal preference. Although, you know, Luke and Maul I really do like as well. You know, both of them are agile, fast paced. Their melee strikes are really quick, solid abilities and stuff like that. So
I find that they fit my playstyle because I just like speeding around the whole map and killing everyone,
That's
essentially.
what I like doing as well.
Yeah. So,
Han-
I mean, Maul is just perfect.
Yeah.
yeah, Han is probably another one of my favorite heroes.
Yes.
Sounds good, yeah.
Han is so good.
Fun.
Han is just amazing, honestly. And then I just love his Beckett's crew appearance. But speaking of which, what is everyone's fave? If you had to choose one appearance, what would be your favorite appearance in Battlefront?
In the entire game. It's a close
Entire.
one.
Hmm.
My favorite
Jeez.
appearance in the game might be Bosch, but I don't know. I feel like General Kenobi is another really solid one.
It's Bausch.
Those are all weak choices.
I probably
They're
don't
both the same
have.
thing.
I probably don't
in the
have a
game
favorite.
is
You know.
Bandage
Hmm.
Chewie. Bandage Chewie is the
Oh,
best in the game. I'm telling
Bandage
you.
Do you know what I like?
Oh, I
Ray-
prefer Hidden Yoda actually.
I like Rey Skywalker. She's a Skywalker.
I quite like General Kenobi, to be fair.
Yeah.
In all
Like,
fairness,
Kenobi is so
I
fun.
used General Kenobi for a while, but now I think I'm always using robed Kenobi, Jedi robes, because
Rogue.
I don't know.
I think the
Rogue
robes look
Kenobi.
better on Anakin than Obi-Wan.
I don't think so.
Yeah, for
I
some
think
reason.
robed Obi-Wan looks better.
Yeah, for some reason, I like Obi-Wan's robed appearance. I don't know why. It's just something about it that I like, but I can't put my finger on it. Favorite class to play as?
Officer.
Heavy.
Nubs. Yes, Outcast. You're the only decent one here. And,
Heavy. Heavy just destroys everyone.
no, Heavy's too.
I'll
Heavy
only go
carries-
for heavy if there's heroes.
The Heavy carries a lot of weight.
Split screen. What do you think?
I personally really enjoy. Well, I mean, I like all of them. I love the specialist because I love going around quick scoping everyone in the head with the MT242.
He's a face member confirmed.
If you've seen me stream with it, I'm pretty good. But no, I like the heavy as well because you just get loads of explosives. Like if you go barrage and grenade or detonite charge and supercharged sentry, then it's just so much fun to just blast everyone. Officer's fun. It's probably my least favorite, and then there's just the assault, which is all rounds. Go E11D, Vanguard, toughen up, improve thermal detonator.
Yeah, Outcast. That's what you need to do. Toughen up.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like I think with the assault, I think it relates back to what you said about Maul and Luke, because I feel like the assault is very quick paced and it's kind of got the abilities for you to actually withstand different battle scenarios. So whether it's like a one-on-one, a squad, or you're actually with a lot of people, because obviously your toughen up ability is effective. You know, healing around the corner if there's like enemies about pursuing you, or or if you want to ambush them. Obviously, your Vanguard's good for close quarters combat, especially when there's loads of people, and your thermal detonator's also good for taking out enemies. So I just feel like it's got that solid ability to kind of come across any battle scenarios. Whereas like the officer, even though each one plays like a role, because your support's obviously
Right.
helping the teammates, your sniper's just sniping. Your heavy's
Getting their
just
montage on.
your heavy's just carrying a bit of weight, bit slower health regen, but it's really, really powerful. But I just feel like the
I mean,
assault
I
is the best.
consider
Well,
heavy as the hero hunter class. Just slap on the explosive
guess.
shot on it. There you go.
Well, I
Go
feel
down
like
into the block.
I feel like for all the officer people out there, I just want to explain. I don't play officer because of the battle points. The battle points is a nice bonus. I would still main officer without the battle point gain. It's ridiculous. But I mean, if you have the right star cards, like I go disruption, and then I have the one the heal card that when you use the middle ability it gives you health. Like the ability to heal yourself and everyone around you and then get battle points from that and then use disruption to shut everyone down in the room and just kill everyone is just so good to me. It's just it fits my
Well,
playstyle.
Favorite reinforcement.
Commando droid. I don't know what it is about it, but okay, I kind of do. I mean, I like the movement for it, but I love the E5, just how it's a bit heavier, and then you aim for the head and it's got bang.
Oh yeah.
And it has really good it doesn't have much damage drop off.
To be honest,
Just
I don't have a favorite one, but if I was to choose my top three, not in any order, but probably the commando droid, the Death Trooper, and the Arc Trooper.
I was gonna say Clone Commando instead
The
of the
Ewok
Arc
is the
Trooper.
best. The
I don't-
Ewok is the best.
What?
I don't know why the clone commando. I don't know. It's just I don't know.
I
So
would say
It's not that good, honestly.
yeah. Well,
Would-
it's tanky. Anyways, what were you saying, Shelby?
what was your what was your favorite addition to Star Wars Battlefront 2? Meaning update. What update was your favorite that was introduced?
Maybe either the Grievous update. I remember being so hyped for it, just so excited.
Yeah.
I watched gameplay of it all day until I could get home and actually play it myself. I was so
Yeah.
excited. Or maybe the Geonosis update because we got so much Clone Wars in it.
I would say
Clone Wars,
Geonosis.
again.
Yeah, I would
The
definitely say
Clone Wars.
Geonosis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably
It's a
Geonosis for
tough
me.
one. I think for me, like I really enjoyed the March update that brought Capital Supremacy because we also got a ton of clone skin. Like
Oh yes.
everything was unique.
So, what do you guys think about a Star Wars Battlefront 3 then?
I find it extremely unlikely. I mean, the Battlefront franchise or EA's Battlefront franchise has not been received well, at least at launch. Now it is, but I don't think they're going to put the resources into another one. Plus, the team is gone for it, so I don't see it happening.
Doesn't mean it can't come back though.
I mean, true.
Ooh.
I'm
Maybe.
really
Yeah,
hoping
maybe.
for one. I'm
I am
really
too,
hoping
but
for a
I'm
Star Wars
hoping for
Battlefront
as
3.
well. My overall kind of thought about it is okay. Battlefront 2 ended. I mean, the thing is though, right? There's the whole petition thing, right? And it's like, oh, save Battlefront 2, which by the way, just not gonna happen.
Mhm.
EA said last week, or they said it almost 2 weeks ago at the end of EA Play in a webinar to investors that, we want to double down on Star Wars games, which basically means we want to make more of them in a kind of shorter time period. So let's say the contract was extended another 10 years, they want to make more than just like 4 AAA titles, or it probably will be 5 with the second Jedi game. They want to do more of that basically. So we could start to see Star Wars games come out like every maybe year or something. So I think we could see Battlefront 3, but that won't be until at least probably like 2025 maybe because Battlefront 6
Wow,
out.
2025.
Yeah, Battlefront
5
I
6
agree.
years.
I'll be an old man by then.
Dice will leave a big focus because I imagine they'll probably want to keep that going for a time to come.
Yes, of course.
And by then it would be a completely new studio, right, within EA? Or would it still? Do you think it would still be DICE that would create it 5 years in the future?
I think it could still be DICE, to be fair. But like the way I see it is Battlefield 6 launches. Hopefully, it's successful because this is the thing. If Battlefield 6 isn't successful, there's no way they're going to make a game. Not DICE anyway. So let's hope Battlefield 6 is successful, and then they'll start putting people, especially with pre-production work, like 2D concept arts and stuff like that. They'll probably move that over to Battlefront 3 maybe, and they'll keep on doing that. They'll bring all these resources back together and stuff like that.
And that
and
will
then-
be
3 years down the line, we'll see a Battlefront 3, I think, like a proper big Battlefront
because
3.
5 years down the line, 5 years or whatever, that's deep into the next generation consoles.
Yeah.
That we could see, like if there's gonna be a Star Wars Battlefront 3, if they consider it into 2025, then that's with a mad new engine, and it gives it so much potential when it is finally released, if released, because the game would be massive in comparison to Star Wars Battlefront 2, because it would have so much more potential to do, and the engine would be so much higher tier than what we've got at the moment, or what we had.
Yeah,
Yep,
absolutely.
of course.
I mean, the Frostbite engine already, I think, has evolved from what we saw. If I don't know if you guys saw like EA Play, but they showed some Frostbite stuff. They had Battlefield with over 100 characters just sprawling around the place. Just like building destruction was absolutely insane. They had 2 cars for Need for Speed, which looked like just so unreal. Like in terms of like Frostbite always looks pretty anyway, but in terms of how photorealism goes, it looks like absolutely incredible. So even a couple years down the line, we'll start to see a lot more come out of the engine. We'll see more updates from it, and yeah, like if and when we do get about 3, then it'll be incredible in terms of the way it looks. And I think the fact that next gen consoles are going the way they are, I don't think we'll see a next gen console after that for so long, like
For a
longer,
while,
longer than the difference from PS5 from PS4 to
which
PS5.
is 7 years, mind.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I don't think we'll see anything not like in terms of next gen. We could see like PS5 Pro, but we won't see like PlayStation 6 probably for
Just like 3 small generations of the same generation, like the PS. So you got the PS4, you got the PS4 Slim, the PS4 Pro, you got the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X. They could do similar things for the Series X and PS5.
Mhm.
1,000 generations living you.
And what would you guys like to see in a Star Wars Battlefront 3 game?
More Clone Wars.
Everything.
Yes. The answer is just yes.
Yes, indeed.
I want to see them try if they can't push space, because the thing is though, right? With PlayStation, like with current gen consoles, they cannot they physically do not have the hardware to and the software capabilities of going from seamless from one place to another. If you look at the Ratchet and Clank trailer,
That was mad, yeah.
seamless transitions
That was
from
crazy. I saw that, yeah.
1 second loading screen.
it's mental. And I feel like with a Battlefront 3 in like 5 years' times, I feel like we could very well just see seamless transition from space to ground. So I'd really like to see a space to ground, like large scale, maybe 100 versus 100.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be good.
On the
That
ground
would be great.
in space.
Yeah.
If like the guys in space destroy the capital ship, then it's like, okay, we can't reinforce ourselves now. We could be completely screwed at this point. Or likewise, if it's like, okay, we've dominated the ground, but the enemy capital ship's still here, every enemy is going to be then spawning on the capital ship, and it's going to be like, right, okay, we need to get back down here and take it. So they could like defend. You could have people defending each command post on the ground, and you could have like massive space battles.
That would spark.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy, yeah.
Incredible.
It would spark some Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 vibes. Although with the new generation of consoles, obviously we're going to expect an enhancement of graphics. And if we was to receive a Star Wars Battlefront 3, I would like to say that I would expect it to be more immersive than Capital Supremacy. And your description of Ground to Space would be a ideal concept on how to do it. You know, just adds that proper Star Wars experience, and you know, it would just be ideal, because I feel like that's sort of one thing Battlefront 2 lacked, because I didn't really enjoy Supremacy that much, because it just seemed like I enjoyed the capital ship phase, but the ground combat just seemed a bit like, you know.
I thought the ground combat was the best because of the command posts. I think because of the 2005 game, just having command posts in the game was just a hit for me.
Original trilogy Supremacy is the best.
Oh yeah, I agree,
because it's solely command posts. But this is the thing, like with Supremacy, you've got that cut. Like loads of people are complaining about. There's a cut scene to get from into the capital ship, and the reason for that is because mostly consoles don't have the capabilities of doing that seamless transition. That's why they have this cutscene to do it for them. And it's like, and the way it's done as well is it's okay. Well, it goes from cut start off on the ground, and then you launch up to space, and it does another cutscene where it's inside the interior and you see them coming in. That's because the consoles and a lot of people's PCs won't have the physical capabilities of actually being able to do that. And lots of people complain about that, but it's because they didn't understand that. But with next gen consoles and with the right PC specs, then you should be able to. That should be a thing, no problem. And if we can't have space to ground, then atmosphere to ground as well would work fine. Ideally, space. But like it can. I think it can work. The way like technology is evolving always like really fast. I mean, look at 20 years ago to now; it's insane.
Back in my day,
absolutely.
So, did Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 have space to ground combat? Because I can't remember going from a planet to space, but I remember going from the interior of a capital ship to a starfighter, and then out space combat, and then go back to the capital ship or whatever.
2005 didn't have space to ground combat. The only game one that has got space to ground combat is Elite Squadron. but again, that's done via a cutscene. So the way it works is you could be on the ground, so you get a starfighter, and then as you go high enough, it'll give you a prompt to like press down on the D-pad, and then it'll start this cutscene where you go from, and then like atmosphere, and then it'll transition to space. Likewise, if you're going the other way around, it'll be space to atmosphere. But again, that's done in a cutscene, and like that was, I mean, it was done ages ago. So these whole like transitions and space around ground combat has been done before, but it's not seamless. And that's where like immersion gets not. I wouldn't say killed isn't the right word, but it can be hindered because of that. And I think we could absolutely see that in the future. I don't see why not. And that's like the flagship mode that I would want to see a next Battlefront do.
Definitely. Hands down.
Yeah, it's all well and good saying, oh yeah, I want a free because I want to have the content we've got now and more, and maybe some different stuff as well. It's all well and good saying that, but I think a sequel to a sequel, really, like with the game especially, it needs to have these features that deem it worth it. And I think having a 100 versus 100 if possible, or even like 50 versus 50 or something, just something that big,
something massive
with that, just something on that scale,
enormous,
be out of this world.
So other than Star Wars Battlefront 3, there's other opportunities confirmed and not confirmed, it's just rumours, for future Star Wars games, which of course is a big topic of this podcast, including Star Wars Battlefront 3. To begin with, there is apparently a Star Wars VR game.
Yes, there's a new one.
Anyone know anything about that?
I do. So it's going to be basically a Galaxy's Edge setting. What they're aiming for is to tell a new story about about Galaxy's Edge, where you can kind of go through it, if I'm understanding this correctly. But it's not like it's an amusement park. It's like the Batuu station is like a first order base or something, and they're trying to tell a new story in VR about Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, from what I understand as well, is it seems like you can genuinely roam around. I feel like it's almost going to be a bit, I think, where you can genuinely go around it all you want. You'll see, if you go to Galaxy's Edge, then and you then play the VR experience or vice versa, then you'll be able to have that kind of, oh my god, I've been here, that's there, that's here, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be telling an original story, and I think there's like loads of lore you can learn from. And based on a teaser we saw from a senior producer on the game, this was like a month or so before it was officially unveiled. You could hear Saber like wielding gunfire as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's a new original story coming to VR. I imagine it might start and launch with Oculus, because it'll be again developed with them, ILM, excellent. But yeah, I'm excited for that. My brother's got a Quest, so I've played Vader Immortal, so I'm looking forward to this kind of play.
Vader Immortal was really good.
It's so fun. I love the Doge.
Yeah, I know nothing about Galaxy's Edge, and therefore I knew nothing about this game. But I'll look into it. I'll see what it's about and consider it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
No, but essentially I'll probably look into it as well, because it does sound interesting.
So does any of you have a VR besides split screen?
Nope.
No.
I think my sister does, so I can just steal it.
I love my VR.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah, it's fun. VR's good.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to the next game? The next Fallen Order game?
What would be that?
So Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order obviously came out. It was actually received pretty well. But then there wasn't much to do after the game finished, after you finished the story. And it was, in my opinion, it was a really good game. And it had the awesome story. I thought it was a good narrative. And personally, I do really like single-player story games when they've got a good story. And I thought Jedi Fallen Order done that pretty well. And of course, it has it been confirmed? I'm not sure.
No.
Okay, Star Wars Jedi is the type of game, and Fallen Order was that specific game in the Jedi franchise, right? So,
Yeah.
could there be another Star Wars Jedi game? And if so, what would you like it to be about, or what era would you like it to be in?
Well,
sorry, in terms of could we see another one? Yes, because Respawn are still hiring for the Jedi team. Like I saw one of the lead level designers, I follow him on Twitter, he actually put out an advertisement last week and said, hey, we're looking for level designers for the Jedi team. So
Mad.
like,
Awesome.
so it's not, EA haven't come out and said, hey, we're making another Jedi, but we know that they are making another Jedi game because
Because they're
It's not under
getting
wraps.
people to make it, of course.
yeah, so we definitely will get another. I personally think it's going to release. Like a lot of people are saying, 2020 it's going to be 2022. But yeah, I think it's going to be a continuation of Cal's story.
yeah, for sure. Some people are saying some weird stuff like it's going to go into KOTOR or whatnot. Like, no,
Okay.
it's not. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's most likely just going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the most likely. Although, I'm gonna get some hate for this one, but basic. Well, I feel like something along with like Kanan's story would be nice.
Of course you think that.
I like Kanan Jarrus.
I mean, yes, he is.
You know,
I mean, does,
I
You
think
know what?
I'm gonna
we
switch it
need
up. When
we
does
need to
Fallen
see
Order
Cal
take place?
Kestis die, right? He's got to die at some point, unless he
Yeah.
goes into super hiding and hides himself forever and deletes himself from everyone's brains and history. He's gonna have to die at one point. So potentially in the next game, unless there'll be a third game in the Star Wars Jedi franchise, then we're gonna have to see Cal Kestis die, which should be, I say, pretty fun, pretty interesting.
By the way, Tack, got some bad news for you. Fallen Order takes place after Rebels, so Kanan's dead.
No, it doesn't. Fallen Order doesn't take place after Rebels. Fallen Order takes place many years before.
yes.
I thought it does.
Oh,
No, I thought it was like 5 years after Order 66.
Oh yeah, because of course Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, right?
You loaded.
Oh, you are right. I thought it was. Oh, I misread
well
it.
done,
Okay, I thought it was his. Okay, sorry. I thought it said 5 years. Okay.
Oh my dear Kanan.
So
Okay, it's possible.
do you guys like the story single player driven games instead of I mean, of course there's potential possibilities for multiplayer Star Wars games, but in terms of the single player narratives, do you guys enjoy those?
Yeah.
Very much.
done
Yes.
right, yeah.
They have to be good.
Yeah, I think because
Yeah.
the way. Because I think the way Respawn portrayed Cal Kestis's character and and the combat felt really fluid, really immersive, and that's what. And eventually the story, just because I'm not really a fan of single player games, and I like multiplayer, but it really got me into single player games.
You was never into single
explore planets.
player games before Jedi Fallen Order.
I can agree.
No.
I wasn't really either.
Wow.
Yeah, I played a couple.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I think-
so,
But,
Yeah, go ahead, Split.
yeah,
so my overall stance on things, like I wasn't like I'd play single player games, but I wasn't that into them that much. I'm very much a multiplayer kind of guy myself. But because it's a Star Wars game, it's like, nah, like I need to play this. It's like I mean Spider-Man as well, like I Last of Us, Spider-Man and like Fallen Order are my top 3 single player games, I'd say. So I'm very willing to play single player games, multiplayer personally, because I just really like that competitive aspect. Like with Call of Duty, unlocking new guns, getting the camos for them and attachments, and just building them and stuff like that. So yeah, if we get more Star Wars single player games, like great. I want to see more Star Wars single player games. I want to see more Star Wars Jedi games. I want to see another. I'd very much like to see a single player game based on maybe like a bounty hunter or something. Or actually,
That could be good. Yeah.
1313.
yes,
Oh,
my
yeah,
actual
13.
dream game would basically be GTA but Star Wars. So have a single player.
You just have a
campaign.
stormtrooper just running across the road and just stealing someone's speeder.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Well, people
As
are
in like a massive open world game.
Yeah, and it would be more like smugglers and bounty hunters and stuff like that. So you'd have a single player campaign where you can play as like there's a crew, and you play as you get to play as everyone. Everyone's different in terms of how they play and have roles and stuff.
sounds
so
like
you can,
I can imagine that.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of
I've not
Thieves.
played Sea of Thieves, so
Yeah.
It sounds nothing like Sea of Thieves.
Yes, it does. By the way he's describing it, it does.
Right, so say there's a crew of, say, bounty hunters or smugglers, then that would open up for loads of different missions and story opportunities for the actual game in a open world experience.
Yeah.
Nothing like Sea of Thieves.
So that would be like the single player aspect of it, but then you can go into multiplayer, and like GTA, you can have your own crib. You can buy your own, speeders and starfighters and stuff like that. You can just have all these multi-purpose vehicles on like the galactic net. You can do and then you can get missions from characters that were in the story. You can get like missions from them. So let's say
Yeah.
the boss of that crew that you were playing as, he might come to you with missions that you can do, and there are like just God knows what else. But like there are multiple planets you can go to. It's not like just one hub world, but it'd be like several planets that you can go and explore.
And again, next generation consoles opens up so many opportunities, and you probably will be able to have those massive open worlds and yet still go and travel from that open world to another planet, and then vice versa, and then hopefully even then still space to ground combat, because that game then would be massive. And I suppose, yeah, I mean, just in general, it would be a massive game in terms of next generation console capabilities, and the fact it would be online story, just Star Wars in general. It would be a crazy big game.
Just using
So a bit of a fun fact for the PS5, with the PlayStation 4, 1 gigabyte of data. So in terms of like if your camera, or in terms of like loading and that, it would take PS4 20 seconds to load 1 gigabyte of data, but the PlayStation 5 is going to be doing 2 gig in 0.27 seconds.
Yeah, that's mad.
So
I've heard that they load up their games like that.
It's going to be they're aiming for 100 times faster. So in terms of overall rendering and loading speeds and stuff like that, things genuinely will be seamless as a result. So it's going to be insane, and it just adds so much more potential to really build these worlds and have those seamless transitions and stuff like that. And I feel like with a multiplayer world, like you could also, obviously in GTA you have races, but in this you could have pod racing.
Yeah, that would be good.
You just use your helmet to beam out like a transmission, and then something like a hologram comes up with like Moore's Mutual Insurance. Well, I mean, obviously in Star Wars context though.
Yeah.
Oh no, that sounds really good. I would like a game like that actually. That would be really fun.
That is basically my dream Star Wars game, right?
Definitely, that'd be incredible for sure.
Yeah.
Didn't they cancel 2 games like that? 1313 and then the open world Star Wars game that they didn't. They showed like 1 bit of gameplay for.
Ragtag. Well, so Ragtag was it was going to be like a kind of a heist game of sorts. Whether it was going to have like multiplayer and stuff, I don't know. But yeah, I think Ragtag could have been good. And a developer on Ragtag actually said recently, I don't know if you guys know who Danger Cat is.
Yes, I've heard of the name.
Yeah, so he set up like open game camera stats Wayfinder. So yeah, he was in a discussion, and basically a developer who worked on Ragtag said if we did the game in Unreal Engine, we would have shipped it, but because they were doing it on Frostbite, like Frostbite's like super complicated and just brings up so many issues. That's why in like DICE games you probably see a lot more bugs than other games because it is so complicated. But yeah, like we could have had that game had it been on which
Yeah.
kind of sucks to hear. But
I think Clone Wars Adventures shares similarities because it came out in like 2008 and it ended when the Clone Wars ended, and it was honestly my favorite game to play when I was a child, and it kind of matches your description. I don't know if any of you played it before.
Never heard of it.
I've never. Yeah.
No.
Oh, you would have loved it. Like,
Sure.
Wait a second. Isn't that
Definitely.
that game? It was like there was like 2 clones and one of them was Rex, and you had to go around doing a mission. Had names in
yeah,
it.
like you were
That
on
one?
like a planet just shooting like B1 battle droids and B2, and they just kept coming and stuff like that. And it was like there was loads of players. You can like get your own crib, customize like everything, go to like other planets and do missions, like and
You
loads
could
of like
unlock
activities.
Ryloth.
Yeah, Ryloth and Bara.
I used to love like gathering materials from these places and then going
Oh
to
yeah.
going to that like PC looking station
Hmm.
and building gear that I can't buy because I don't have the membership for it.
Yeah,
I used to love
Like-
it.
it's such a shame it ended because it was a
It
really
looks like Club Penguin for Star Wars.
it's sort of
Sort of.
yeah, it's sort of had that vibe, but yeah, I see what you mean. Like
There was a lightsaber dueling game mode, which is basically the card jitsu.
Does anyone else remember Club Penguin?
What about Bim Weevils?
Amazing.
No idea.
You've not played Bim
Pop
Weevils?
Tropica.
Nope. Sorry, I only know what Club Penguin is. My bad.
Outcast playing Moshi Monsters.
I don't even know what that is.
What was that other game called? I forgot the name of it.
Animal Jam.
No.
What?
Never mind. I
Never
forgot
heard
the
of
name.
Animal Jam, Outcast? Bruh.
Right. So, seeing as we've discussed this topic quite a lot in the past 2 podcasts, Split Screen, directly to you, what do you think about Star Wars Squadrons, the new game coming out?
I'm very excited for Squadrons. I like that we're getting, because obviously it's a smaller title, but I really like that we're getting something unique. And obviously with Battlefront 2, we basically got no additional content for Starfighters, so it's really nice to have a focused game on that. And the fact that you can play in VR, HOTAS as well, like the hands-on throttle and stick, so the joystick, and that stuff. Like you can play with that, and it's going to be proper, like power management and all these different skins and stuff like that. It's going to be awesome to have like a proper in-depth Starfighter simulator, because it's going to be one of the most immersive experiences that a Star Wars fan,
Yeah, for sure.
especially in current times.
What do you think about it being locked in first person?
I don't mind. At first, I was a bit like, but I don't mind it. It makes sense to be locked in first person because obviously with the VR stick as well, they've got this thing called a diegetic HUD, which basically means that, well, as far as I'm aware, it basically means that the HUD is within the cockpit itself.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
most of the UI elements and stuff like that would just be like the crosshair in the middle of the screen.
Mhm.
But in terms of like how many missiles you've got left or how much health you've got, your shield capacity and stuff like that, that's all going to be like built into the Starfighter itself.
Awesome.
It's not going to be on the side of the screen or a bottom bar like Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, if you're in first person, to make it immersive, you're probably not going to have all those stuff on the side of a screen because it'll probably block your field of view anyway. So
Yeah,
it's a good addition.
So,
I
yeah.
think it would balance the gameplay out as well, because even though like I'd say the vast majority would be preferably would prefer third person, but as it's restricted to first person, it adds that more realism. And obviously it'll be an advantage, but a disadvantage. Obviously, a disadvantage to those who are preferably used to third person. But obviously, those first person players, then that'll be good for them.
Yeah.
So I feel it'll definitely balance out gameplay. I think because obviously you're not behind the shoulder, and you can only see basically what's to the front of you or maybe a bit to the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't know the rotation.
Well, which is basically a mini map there.
Yes.
But the thing with Squadrons as well is, from what I'm gathering, is you have to play through the campaign first to unlock multiplayer.
Okay.
And once you do that, you then unlock Dogfight, and then you play Dogfight for a little bit, and then you unlock Fleet Battles. And I think the reason they're doing that is because you've got 8 ships, all of them fly very different. and they all have their own kind of systems, and some things work for this ship but not for that ship. So I think the way I can see it is the story missions are going to be 8 in total, 1 for each ship.
Okay.
And I mean, it may not be. It could just be like, oh, choose a ship, and then
So it's not really expected the story is going to be very good. If it's just going to be pretty much a tutorial for each ship that you play in multiplayer.
I mean, isn't it like
it could
only 4 hours?
It still could be a good story. It's not. It's like, yeah, the campaign's not going to be all that long. It is mostly a multiplayer focused game. But it's basically, I think the story's going to take you through all the ships and how they work. Well, not
Think about it.
work, but
Think about it this way. At least it'll be better than Battlefront 2 campaign.
Can Spain.
All right. Okay.
Maybe.
I can English.
Maybe.
Battlefront 2
Yeah, I get what you mean. The Battlefront 2
Campaign.
campaign, of course.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can English. Okay. Thank you, Tack.
No worries.
yeah, I mean, the thing is though, like, it could be a very good story. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, we've seen Ray Stone and Hera in it, so it's like I'm really excited to see those come back. So yeah, it's going to be a great story, I think, but it's not going to be a very long. It's just going to teach you show you the ropes of the game, and then you'll basically take what you've learned from the campaign and put that into Dogfight. You'll learn more about the game and test your skills, and then once you've done that, then you enter fleet battles, which in PvP is ranked, and there'll be you'll have different ranks in there, and that kind of determines matchmaking. For hopefully, I mean, I've literally, as we're talking about this, a video went up 40 minutes ago of me going through what we could see in terms of leagues, tournaments, and stuff like that. So it's we could very well go and see stuff like that, but it's going to be ranked and skill based and stuff like that. So it's going to be very competitive. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which of course is what I moved my channel onto, and Tack and
Yeah,
Astral.
let's milk that for another podcast.
No, but we're not milking that. That's why we're only bringing up shortly. So, split screen. What do you think of the Skywalker Saga?
From what I've seen so far, I'm really looking forward to it. The whole. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know absolutely everything. But the fact that we're going to get I think there were, as far as I'm aware, 20 planets. But the fact that
pretty much, yeah.
you would, go and explore, as far as I'm aware, you can explore a ton of it. I think that kind of potential and have these random encounters with ships and stuff like that is going to be so cool. I genuinely think this is going to be the best Lego game we'll ever get for a long time.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mind-blowingly awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Big hype.
Some people are even assuming that it's going to be a GTA version of Lego.
Who's saying that?
I don't know. It's just been a thing. I've heard a few
GTA Lego. What are you?
Yeah. I don't know. Some people have just been
Yeah, let's
commenting.
run over to Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I can
it's
actually see that.
Yeah, no, because I don't know, I don't know where I hear it from, but I just keep hearing in comments and just around people on social media just saying that Lego Star Wars sounds like some sort of version of GTA, but in Lego.
It's just because it's massive open world. That's all it is, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's GTA.
Okay, so moving off that, the Clone Wars and Rebels sequels. Now, personally, I have absolutely no idea about anything, so this conversation will mainly be going off you guys. The Clone Wars and Rebels sequels, what's it about, and what do you guys think?
All right. For the Clone Wars one, it would be about Ahsoka and Rex going into hiding. What happens with that? And for the Rebel sequels, it would be Ahsoka and Sabine looking for not Rex. This is Ezra.
Right.
And I don't know. They're definitely not confirmed. They're just rumors. I think the Clone Wars one might have just sprung off of the Rebels sequel rumor, so that might not even be happening. But I don't know if they're going to be its own separate show or if they're just going to do another season for both of the shows about those things or what. Lots of people are saying it's going to be set up in The Mandalorian because Sabine, Ahsoka, Rex, Boba Fett, Thrawn, and Ezra have all been rumored to be cast.
Yeah.
That's mad. Yeah, series 2.
So it's possible that that's setting up a Rebel sequel.
And would this be live action or?
Yes. Well, no, the sequels themselves,
Mandalorian,
no. No.
So
Yeah.
it would still be going off kind of. And would it be a sequel as such, a sequel TV show, a movie,
Yes.
or just more seasons to what you already have?
Either its own TV show or another season. I don't know. We don't know about that.
Imagine if they do another Clone Wars series, after saying that that's going to be the last one.
I mean,
I haven't heard anything series with Ahsoka and Rex going to hiding. I've not heard anything.
Neither have I.
I've had a Rebels sequel, which is apparently going to be set up in the Mandalorian season 2, and then hopefully we'll go and see that as like an actual animation. Like they won't be it won't be more seasons already, because that would still then be Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars The Clone Wars, even though it's not actually Star Wars Rebels anymore and it's not Star Wars The Clone Wars anymore. It'll be a completely different new name if we get them. But as far as I'm aware, people at Lucasfilm Animation have actually said on Twitter, we are hard at work doing stuff at the moment. So I think especially for Disney Plus, I think over the next even just 5 years, we're gonna get a lot of, well, hopefully just a ton of live action TV shows. We've got 4 confirmed at the moment, and then hopefully
Really?
just animation.
yeah.
So there's The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, Cassian Andor, and the show
Oh,
from
mate, I'm so gassed for the Kenobi series.
Headlands. Could be wrong, but
So
mostly
excited for Kenobi.
And live action Forces of Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it.
I don't know what that is.
They cast a female director, and they're having an all-female cast for an all-female Star
Are
Wars
you kidding me?
story.
Well,
No.
no, I'm pretty sure it's not. It's no. It's a female it's a female director and showrunner, but it's gonna have a female centric main character. That's what I've heard.
So a
I
female.
thought it was an
protagonist.
all-female cast.
No,
Imagine if they
Okay.
do
I don't
a
think.
whole TV show with no males. How would that work?
No,
As in
be more
in-
characters.
yeah,
Thing.
as in protagonists and stuff. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people just jump on a bandwagon and start hating on it straight away, even though we literally know it. And it's just
Yeah.
people just jumping to conclusions which shouldn't really be happening. But I mean, when we know more about it, people are going to start formulating more informed decisions. But we're not really going to know until I mean, if a trailer comes out and it's oh, I don't like this, then fair enough to you. But yeah, it's going to have as far as I'm aware, it's going to be female showrunner, female lead, and that's as far as I've seen.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, it depends on how they do it. If it's an all-female cast, I'll kind of be face-palming, which I'm not. It's not a problem to me that it's female. It's just the fact that how they've been consistent with this female lead forever, and it seems like they're pushing this propaganda or they're pushing this idea. I don't mind it. Again, it's not a problem to me. I'm not against it, but it's getting old. I don't mind it.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of the podcast. So before we say our goodbyes and head to what I hope are bloopers, split screen.
Yes.
What will you do next with your YouTube channel?
What will I do next? Well, I mean, for me, really, with Star Wars games. I think over the next few months, it's going to be obviously a lot of news and speculation and discussion of Squadrons, and then the game will come out, and then I'll probably do a campaign playthrough. I'll do hopefully jump in a squad. I've got a few squads lined up with. I got one squad with Sammy Boy, Twisted, Jedi. Another squad with a friend called Torbis and another friend called J-Dod, who actually creates partnerships at EA. We've got a squad together. that we intend on playing through. So it might just be like hopefully play some games, get some funny moments with that.
Yeah, so you're all set. Loads of Star Wars content.
Lots of Star Wars content, and then it's just like after Squadrons come out, then like with EA saying, "Oh, going to double down." There's plenty of Star Wars games to come out, so and I'll do some Lego Star Wars as well.
And what are your goals for your YouTube channel in the future? Do you have any goals?
My main goals for this, in terms of YouTube specifically, is 5K. It's hopefully looking realistic, because I feel like when Lego Star Wars comes out, most Squadrons, but when those two games come out, hopefully that might push me forward a bit. But yeah, 5K by the end of this year, like 20K by the end of next year, or hopefully more. But like starting uni in September, that's going to be a 3-year course. So ideally, I'd like to be on like 100K plus by the time I finish uni and be able to go full time.
Aiming big. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to aim big, right? You gotta aim big.
Yeah, definitely.
Go big or go home.
Exactly.
So everyone watching right now, link in the description to Split Screen's YouTube channel. It'll be the first link. Go and subscribe for lots of Star Wars gaming content. And yeah, that link will be in the description, so go check it out. And yeah,
Before
that
we
will be
end
this
it.
time for now. Ashel to speak, so go ahead.
Before we end it, Split Screen, I asked this to DL, and I want to ask it to you. How can we improve the guest experience?
Okay. Well, I thought it was quite pleasant, actually. I thought it went very smoothly. I mean, obviously, we had some time issues. But yeah, I guess in terms of the guest experience, I mean, specifically for the podcast, I thought it was very pleasant. In terms of leading up to it, I guess maybe just the time thing, really.
Yeah, because for everyone else watching, we didn't exactly get the time schedule spot on first time, which, of course, we all need to work on. Yeah.
Outcast.
Apart from that, you guys are...
Talking about Outcast, before we head out, Split Screen, could you call Outcast a noob?
Outcast. You're a noob.
There we go. I was second guess to call Outcast a noob. Well done.
Okay.
But yeah, guys.
Thank you everyone for watching, and goodbye.
Guys, when I pause, by the way, I can cut this bit. When I pause, it's for someone else to talk, because it can't just be driven by me. You guys gotta jump in.
Outcast, do you have anything for him?
No, not really.
Wow, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Outcast? You have nothing.
For sure.
Outcast.
Alright, here's this. What's your credit card info?
I can't. Outcast, why are you here? Outcast, why are you here?
Just a quick question, everyone. Whoever says this right first wins a cookie. So yes. Cookies. Right, 1 times 1.
2.
1.
Damn it.
I got it.
I have
It was so random.
Well, Split Screen actually has cookies.
And the...
Oh, wow. Okay. So, Split Screen is the Cookie Monster. Wow. How many biscuits do you have?
Just those.
Oh,
Outcast.
Yeah.
With Shelby comparing British intelligence to American, I think that's been clearly determined.
Nah, I was testing you see. I was testing you. Yeah.
Oh,
See, I expected myself to say that number for you then to retaliate to correct me.
Yeah.
So
well, obviously, I had to make sure it was a quick fire question so no one would think about it.
Yeah.
Sorry for the severe.
Damn it, man! I've never felt for anything so stupid in my life.